earlier in the YouTube. So to access the video, you should be logged in with the same email ID that you have registered for the training content. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's start with the session. I think we have 10 members in the team. Even if someone joins late, they can have the recording. Okay. So Sundarvali, why did you join as a guest?
I don't know, it was showing like this.
Okay, fine. I'll find out the issue, but let's continue. Okay. So now, how many of you are able to understand about RE framework, or do you still have any questions on that? Though we'll be working continuously on that, I would like to ask you if you have any questions. Assuming that it has no. Okay, let's continue with today's session. So today's session, we'll be trying to work with project development lifecycle of RPA. So let this be an interactive session. Everyone can speak up. That should be fine. I don't have any issues with that. So yes, can you tell me a normal project scenario? I would like to talk to Ramya. Hi Ramya. Ramya, can you please unmute? Hello. Okay. Ramya, since I'm not able to hear you, I would like to disconnect you from the meeting. Please join again with audio on. Thank you. Okay. So, Soumya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I have no idea about like how the actual project will
So, do you have any idea about what a project is and how can you uh, work on that? Ramya, can you please unmute and talk now?
Sorry, Ajrang, there was an issue in my audio.
That's fine. That's fine. So please make sure that your audio is connected. Okay. So, Ramya, do you have any idea about project development life cycle? What will happen and how things will go on?
No, Ajrang, sorry.
Okay. Anyone else? Let me take. Please
Yeah,
speak.
I want to.
in the SDLC license.
Hello.
Yeah, one person. Okay, Praveen wants to talk. So if you want to talk,
Okay.
please raise the hand, and then you can talk. Others, please keep on. Please be yourself in mute. So Praveen, yes, please go ahead and talk.
Yeah, like first of all, we used to get requirements from the client, and based on the requirement, the business analyst and the technical architect will prepare the documents. So based on that, the solution design document will be prepared. So initially, the business analyst will be preparing the process definition document, which includes like as is and to be process. So based on that, the SDD will be prepared by the architects, and after that, the based on the SDD, we have to design the process with the help of architect and the development team, and we used to do some unit tests in the dev environment. After that, it will be moved to testing environment. So there will be a dedicated COE team. So they used to do some testing activities, and once they give sign off, it will be deployed into production. And if there is any issues in the production means we have to analyze the issue, and we have to like we do the same testing and all. So the testing will go, and after that it will be deployed into the production once the testing team sign off.
Okay.
And if there is, yeah, that's it, Vajra. Yeah.
So Praveen, you said it very correct. You're very correct. But what if you want to explain it to a 5-year old kid? How will you explain? Please explain me in that way.
Yeah, like first of all, the requirement will be like a normal SDLC cycle. Like so, the client wants, like, I have to automate this process.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, he will have some steps, so certain steps. So that will be recorded by the BA,
Mm-hmm.
and the business analyst will share the requirements to the dev team, and based on the knowledge they will develop the or bot, and after that it will be tested by the testing team. Once the testing team is tested, it will be deployed to production, so based on that.
Okay. So thank you so much, Praveen. So anyone else would like to try? I see some hand raised. Akash. Akash, you want to talk earlier?
Yes,
Yeah. So Praveen, please keep yourself in mute and lower your hand. Akash, you can talk.
actually, means in a simple way. First, we read the requirements from the client,
Mm-hmm.
and then we develop that project in the studio, and then
Your voice is not proper, Akash.
hello,
There's a lot of background noise. Could you please check that and come back? And
okay,
please mute yourself. So yes, someone else had a hand raise. Rahul. Yeah, Rahul, please tell me.
Hello,
Yeah, Rahul.
am I audible?
Yes, you're crisp. Your audio is very crisp. Tell me.
Yeah, there is basically first the BA will comes with the requirement of the application, means the application which they will want to automate. So after that, there is
So
basically
who will give
feasibility.
requirements to BA?
A client will give requirements to BA. So BA will come with the requirements, and after that there is something like feasibility testing. So
Okay.
they will check if the automation is feasible or not, and
Feasibility
after that,
testing. Oh, just a second.
yeah.
You brought a very good point, feasibility testing. So let's
So
have it in bold. Yep, please continue.
after feasibility testing, they will prepare keystroke document of the process. Means step by step process that will perform by the business on today's date. They
Mm-hmm.
will prepare that document,
Okay.
and after from that keystroke document, they will prepare one PDD document, process design document. So they will include in that document. They will include like purpose of the automation and number of employees performing that automation, and also they will mention as is process, means flow chart of the process that business will doing on today,
Mm-hmm.
and also they will mention in scope and out scope of the RPA in that document.
Okay. There is also something called to
And
be process.
yeah, to be process like flow chart like.
Okay.
After that, from this they will prepare the HDD document. So in that they will mention, means the requirement of the automation, like we will design that document in RE framework or in flowchart or in sequence like that. They will mention. So
So what is the
after
full
that,
form of SDD?
it's solution design document.
Okay. So requirement of the process
And
and how did we develop the process?
yeah, how did we going to automate this process?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So after this HDD, actual development will be going on.
Mhm.
So we will design that flow in our studio.
Okay.
And after this, there is something like code review. Means it will be
Okay. Rahul, please,
peer
please
code.
keep yourself on mute. I would like to have someone else to continue with this. See, even
Okay.
if you know a general practice of solution development, that's fine. Please go ahead and tell. Karthik, can you please tell? Karthik Balari, can you please unmute yourself and talk?
Yes, post designing the flow, there will be a unit testing,
Mm-hmm.
followed by component testing,
Okay.
and followed by system testing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it will you will be UAT testing, that is user acceptance testing.
Okay. So,
Then it will
mm-hmm.
go for production.
Production. So, anyone would like to add in between these lines?
Code review.
Code review. Where should we add it?
After designing the or unit testing, UAT testing.
Okay. Okay. Then, can you see the screen? Can everyone see the screen?
I think there is one more document, that is a DST document,
Okay.
that is development specification document.
Okay. When will this be prepared?
Post going live, to in order to help to other developers, uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that to give all the specification, that is
What are the inputs that
like
DSD will have?
input output arguments
Okay.
and applications used.
Okay. So will applications used will not be available in other two documents, the SDD and PDD?
Yeah, it will be available in process design and also in solution design.
Okay. And what else?
The file paths, if any,
Mm-hmm. And
and any storage credentials, if any.
okay. So anyone else would like to? So thank you so much, Karthik. Please keep yourself in mute. I would like to have uh, Maha. Maha, can you please unmute and talk?
Yeah.
Yes, please. So do you want to give it a try? Anything else that you would like to add? No?
Hi, Bajrang.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will define in DST, the main requirement here can be like we should have all the environment details,
All
all
environment.
the inputs, what are the expected outputs, although that is part of STD as well, but at the same time, it should be there in DST as well.
So you mean to say we'll have all the environment details in STD and the DST, right?
DST, yeah, because post go live, we should have all the production environment details then.
Okay, so in production, in all environment details, it should be like water, prod machine details.
Yeah, like if any environment variables were defined, configurations, like any kind of expected outputs we have,
Okay,
what are the policies?
test machine details. So you mean to say policies. So what do you mean policy?
So any compliance requirements that can be?
Can you
like
explain in
for
between?
reporting purposes. It depends on the organization as well. Like if we talk about banks, like they have a lot of compliance requirements. When we are talking about the reporting and all, they can have very specific compliance requirements there.
Okay. Like password should not be shared with anyone. Password should not be added to
No, they,
logs.
yeah, product, just the environment it is. It doesn't mean that we have to share the passwords, because obviously that will be like, whoever will be using the system, they will have, it might be single sign on or something. Most of the companies nowadays using single sign on only.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Okay. And yes, we have many inputs now. Okay. And we have many more. Please go ahead and discuss. So this is the time where you can reach out and talk. And when you are saying something wrong, I'll definitely correct those things. Yeah.
Business emails, Vajra. If there
Okay.
are any escalation, exceptions or any success emails like
Okay.
that.
So I think Uma is speaking. Uma, can I take it as reporting?
Sorry.
Can I take whatever you said as reporting?
Yes.
Okay, so where should we have reporting in?
In the SDD.
Okay, okay. And we can also have this in the PDD to make sure who will receive emails, reports of the process execution. Got it? Okay,
Yeah.
just see how good we are able to get get these information that's directly by you. But the only thing that's happening is you're not able to add everything on paper, or you're not able to get everything at once while you're talking in an interview. Okay. One important point I would like to add here, just take it as a tree uh, before anything. So first is analysis, next preparation of document. Okay. Second one is code development. After code development, it will be unit testing, and unit testing will be done by developer. After that, it will be integration testing. Again, will be done by developer. UAT movement. So whatever code we develop will be in the UAT, and then if UAT is successful, then move it into production. So after production, it will be as a hypercare phase for 15 days. Okay, so after 15 days, handover
Operational team. Yeah.
to operational team. Got it. Now, if you understand properly, all the documents that you have mentioned here will come at any place in this particular flow. PDD preparation, code development, unit testing, UAT, If UAT is successful, production. What if UAT is failed?
We
Back
will
back to
recheck that
develop.
code.
They will raise the defect and will move to development team.
Move to step 3. Okay, raise bugs, and again the development should happen, right?
Yes.
UAT is done by whom? By do we have a special team for that, or how is it?
Okay, UAT is
This
done by developer and client and process owner. Okay, we'll also have manager in the loop. Okay, so why a UAT should be done? Anyone have any idea?
The normal BAU processes are very different. Like if we talk about create invoice, but how we are creating the invoice in a business scenario, it might be very different from the like just as we create in the system. There can be specific requirements. There can be specific bank accounts they would like to test. So
Exactly,
and depending upon the organization, what they are doing.
exactly. Now, in the initial requirement, see, so notes. Let's add it as notes. Okay, so let's have this in the understanding. Like, okay, we have even in the yesterday's or the first training, I gave you a input and I asked you saying that okay, these are the inputs, and if it is divided by 2, go ahead and say it as successful. If it is not divided by 2, say it as not successful, and if it is 5, raise a exception. So these are the inputs that I gave. Okay, so number of inputs during development phase will be very less. Okay, so this is point 1. In UAT, what will we test in UAT? First, are the requirements met? Okay, and is the code inline as per coding standards? Again, this will be done in the initial stage by the team lead or solution architect, like me. Okay, so we will also check that in the UAT state to just check if all the requirements are met, and if any kind of issues, like are there any breaches in the data. So all this kind
If
of
we want to be more precise, we can say that it has met all the business requirements
exactly,
because there are functional requirements and business requirements.
exactly. So along with the business requirements, we will also check with the code, and if that is accessible, or see, the development environment will be completely different from that of a production environment or the client environment. Dev environment is completely different. So before moving it into UAT, we will also do a movement into testing environment. So in testing environment, move code to different machine other than the one that we developed the code. So did you get this? So in testing environment, why are we making this change? Can anyone guess why are we making this change? Why do we need testing environment? Why do we need a UAT environment? Any idea?
Data is very different in UAT environment.
Okay.
And at the same time, like in integration space, sometimes we can run the job manually, like depending upon what we are doing. But at the same time, what we try to do in UAT, that maximum we don't ask users to run the jobs or anything manually. It has to be all scheduled so that we can just test everything like a production environment, what we are going to do in production, so the same showcase can be given to the user, business user, stakeholders.
Yes, Pragati, you are right. And moreover, what also we are checking here is we have few members who don't have the understanding of business users and who don't know what are different environments. So for them, we will actually do a code movement from different machines other than the one that's developed to a different machine. So that will give you an idea on how exactly that will be done. But what you can just think of is take your machine as a development environment. If you're running the same code in my environment, that's a testing environment, and the final client can be Pragati. And you can, if the two codes are successful or the code is running in two machines, and if we move it to Pragati's machine, then it's the final UAT or production moment. Okay, so the code should be executed on multiple machines just to make sure if the code that we have written is working on different environments or not without any issues. If the code written is working only on your machine and it's not working on machine on my machine, then it definitely meant that the code is not properly written and the code is not feasible enough and executable enough that we can deploy it very easily. So did anyone have any questions on this? Please go ahead and answer because we are moving very fast with this and these need to be resolved today itself. So even in the interviews when you are asked a question like what is the developmental life cycle and what are the issues that you have faced, most of you will not be able to answer. The reason being you don't have the actual experience of the code movement, you don't have the actual experience of the environment change and all. Okay, so that's the reason we want to discuss it today. Come on, we are 30 minutes up for this training. I want questions to be asked by you so that I can answer. Did you understand the training or is it very fast?
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes, Akash.
No, it's me, Soumya.
Soumya, yeah, tell me Soumya.
Can you please go to that script, the one you have?
Document, yes.
Yeah. So this is the waterfall model or agile. I have no idea about it. So what is it actually?
So the developmental methodology we can follow as waterfall or agile model or scrum model, but this this particular phases will still remain in any kind of developmental methodology.
Okay.
gathering
So
uh,
it's there
gathering the
how?
requirements, trying to create a PDD, updating the code, reviewing it. Everything will happen in every methodology. Okay,
Can you explain the PDD, STD, all those? Like,
that we will go ahead and explain. That's a different task that we will do.
okay.
So in this uh, particular life cycle, what I'm trying to explain you. Can you explain me about hypercare phase? Do you know what hypercare care is exactly?
No. Yeah, that is my next question actually.
Okay, so let's continue from the step by step so, in the steps that we have written. So after we understand or discuss with the client, stating that okay, these are the requirements that the client have, and this is what we need to prepare. We will have a step by step document as earlier we discussed. So what will be missing in the step-by-step document is those will have just the screenshots, but those will not have what client is actually looking forward after this solution. Who are the stakeholders? Who are the members that are involved in this project meeting? And how can you say that this particular POC or project is getting developed? How will that be taken as successful project? And how what are the requirements to make it as successful? And what are the parameters that we need to follow? Do we need to take how many inputs that we have received and how many outputs that we have received? Are we going where are from where are we getting going to get input data? Everything should be added in the PDD, because that is the base on which we are trying to write the code. But in the code development, after developing, unit testing will be done by a developer to check each and every workflow. Will A unit testing will be done on every workflow by a developer to make sure he or she follows coding standards, whether try-catch mechanisms are properly written, and whether there are any exceptions that are involved. Everything will be checked in the unit testing phase. There will also be a internal code review, but I just exempted that particular item. My processing. Okay, so I just exempted that item because we want to concentrate more on the other phases as well. So let's take about this UAT movement. UAT movement is again done on the client machine, and after that is done, if UAT is successful and UAT is getting signed off, when we say sign off, it just means that customer sends an email or updates in a report stating that whatever requirements that we have are met, and we can move this to production so that it can be executed on the live data. So in the development phase, we will be working on applications, or we will not be working on the live production data. We will be working on the demo applications, demo data, through which we will not have any issue while working with the original live production environment. But in UAT, we will be dealing either with one or two live production environment, having all the stakeholders on the call. The reason being, if there is any issue with one or two data items, that can be rectified immediately. For example, let's say while I am sending the meeting request to everyone, my requirement is to send everyone a meeting request so that everyone can join. But what happened? I cannot. If I send it to someone, I cannot give my thousands of client details to a developer and ask him to run it before completely understanding the solution, before I have a complete understanding of if the project is working as per my requirement. But if I give only one or two emails and ask the developer or person who developed it, I will ask him to give me the solution or execute the code on these two inputs. If it is successful, then I will go give a go ahead stating that the UAT is successful. And if it is failed, I will say that this is failed and I am not able to get the expected input. So that is the UAT phase. So if all the inputs that I have given with the data is successful, then I will move into production data where I will have tons of thousands of data. So when we are executing on that, even then we would like to closely monitor the process so that we will check with the logs, we will check with the executions, we will check when the bot started, when bot stopped. We will see whether schedules are properly available, if the bot is starting at the proper schedule, or is the bot stopped, or if the bot stopped in the middle of execution. So all these things will be checked in the hypercare phase, because the first 15 days is very crucial. This is like a standard practice that we'll normally follow. If the process is very small, the hypercare phase will be only 1 week. Okay, if the process is very big, then we will divide it into modules, and each module will be taken as 15-day hypercare phase. And finally, if the hypercare phase is completed, then we will prepare the handover to the operations team. So any questions in the hypercare phase? Ganesh, Karthik,
Vajrang,
Maha.
Vajrang, I have one question.
Yeah, Pragati, please go ahead.
So solution design document, fine. So PDD is more like, if we are talking about RPA terms, is PDD, but it's more like business design document, right?
You can say like that
Okay.
because
And STD is more like DST, sorry, no, more like TDD, technical design document, right?
exactly
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
And solution design document, you can take it as how your solution is built,
Yeah,
where
that's fine.
the input is available, where the outputs are saved. If every for every workflow, where how what are the in out arguments, what is the in argument, what is it exactly meant, what is the out argument. For example, in let's take a calculator workflow. uh, in a calculator example, i I will say that I need to have three inputs, three in arguments. One in argument should accept the first item, first number. Second in argument should accept the operand, and the third argument should accept the third second number. And there should be an out argument. That out argument should give me a result. It doesn't matter what that particular workflow is doing. That will be added as an extra documentation. But whatever a developer need to know, or like a support person need to know, should be added up in the solution design document.
Okay, so all the arguments that will be part of more DST or PDD.
PDD, we will have only the process but not all the arguments. PDD will be prepared before the development.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so again, you can see there are only two documents, if you ask me, that we can consider in RPA space. One solution design document, the other is process definition document. In process definition document, we are defining the process, stating that this is what will happen. In solution design document, we are saying, or we are a developer will prepare a solution design document stating that this is what we have developed and this is how you need to execute the document. You can also say that there will also be a runbook that will be prepared, but that is out of scope for now. A runbook will be something like, okay, if this bot didn't complete or didn't start, go to queues, stop this queue, stop this trigger, then go to the queues, check if there are any new items in the queues. So all the step-by-step process will be updated in the runbook. That's a different process altogether. Debugging and all.
So all the arguments, all the business exceptions, system exceptions, all that will be solution design document, right?
Exactly. That's correct.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Any other questions, please? Please get it cleared, because once I show you with the PLD, we will be moving very fast.
Vajrang, one question is like after moving to production, do we have the hypercare for 15 days or is it like vice versa of it?
After moving it to hypercare, the normal practice is to have it for 15 days. But if the process is very small and requires only 1 or 2 days of hypercare and it can run on its own, we can also do that. Depends completely on the client and the developmental team agreement.
In your document, right, it was mentioned like we move into production and later hypercare. So that was
Exactly.
maybe we may.
So production, after moving it to production, we will check if the bot is executing properly in the hypercare phase. So after moving it to production, so if I move the bot into production now, so next 15 days will be hypercare phase.
Okay.
Okay.
Vajrang, is integration testing is done by developer or QA team?
Integration testing is done by the team lead, and the developer peer reviews can also be done. So what do you mean by integration testing? What is meant by integration testing? Let's say that in this 16-member team, each and everyone develop a single workflow and everything is monitored by a team lead. He will check whether the integrations are done properly or not.
Okay. Is STD is prepared before development or post development?
Yes, it can be prepared before development, just to make sure, like what are the, like before planning or before development, like okay, this is what we are trying to plan, and after the development, we will actually correct it and make sure that this is after development what is the exact output that we got. According to that, we'll change the SDD.
What about DSD?
See, document specification or TDD, you can say that like what is the infrastructure that's required to run for this particular process and all. Again, that will be taken up in the architect level phase. But if you are going as a developer, these questions will not be asked to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you can just say that as a developer, I am accessible only to two documents. First one is the analysis document. Second one is a PDD, and the third one is the SDD that I am going to develop and give it to the business users. And fourth one is the run book if required.
Vajra,
Okay.
Yes, Oma Devi, please tell me. Karthik just said.
I have one question.
Yes.
You are saying that we need to responsible for three documents.
Hmm.
If interviewer asks what is the difference between PDD, SDD, and all, then how can we say that answer?
That you can only answer when you are preparing the documents. Okay, so let me just show you a sample document. That will be easier for you. So in the teams, I have batch one. I will also add this in the current batch. So files. Let's see a process definition document. Okay, open. Okay. So process definition document and SDD should be prepared by everyone. And this is what the previous team have prepared. So see what is the contents, which will have purpose of the document, objectives, key contacts, who should be contacted in this particular process, what are the minimum prerequisites. For example, if there is any application, that application should be installed on the machine, and if there is any data, that sample data should be available on that particular machine. So those are the prerequisites. As this process is whatever we are doing it right now. If it is a manual process, that as this process should be written, and complete process overview, what are the applications we have. As is process detail map, we need to draw a map on how the things are moving on. Additional resources of process documentation. So if there are any additional resources that need to be available for a automation to be done, that we will do. So what is the difference between as is process and to be process? Can someone answer this question?
As is whatever that manual process is taking.
Mhm.
To be processed is what could be automated. What is the scope for automation? Uh,
I would say that's a generic answer. Anyone can go in detail and
Yeah,
explain.
so as this is something that how as of now the system is like, the business, how it is operating. To be is future scenario, what we are talking about that we are going to implement.
Exactly. Now, let's go with the calculator program again because that is relatable to everyone. Okay. In calculator, if I want to manually do it, I need to open a calculator. So opening a calculator will be one step. Type into 2, type plus, type 3, type equal to, copy the sum, paste it. Okay. So this is what I will have in the step-by-step process. That is as is process. That is done by a human. In to be process, what can we write? Bot opens the calculator application. Bot types in three different items. Bot extracts the input and writes the result in a separate place, separate report. So writing it into a report and sending it is an extra step that's added. But since that is done by a bot, it is more accurate.
Does PDD be written by business analyst or how is it? Or is it like RPA developer? Sir?
PDDs are written mostly by business analysts, but right now, or even now, few organizations don't have proper business analysts who can completely handle that. So even now, developers are putting in multiple hats, trying to talk to customers and trying to create PDDs. That's happening even now. I cannot deny that. But actually,
Okay.
a business analyst will do this.
Vajrang, to check the feasibility for automation, suppose if there is a UI related automation,
Mm,
and if a developer don't have access to the UI currently,
mm.
how do we know that whether the UI is stable for automation? Suppose if it could be unstable when the development happens or when the
So I
business
think
is
this is an
signed.
interview question getting asked.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So, Karthik, whenever some interviewer asks this question, ask him, why are you saying, or how do you want to know? See, interviewer not always wants an answer. He wants a person who can think out of the box and give you a solution. Now, when I am not having the access, how am I expected to develop the code? That is one question, right? And if I need to do some feasibility check, either I need to check with the elements.
The properties of the objects should be available.
Correct.
We should do the
Properties of the
screen names,
object.
properties.
And if you
Yeah.
see, there is a task explorer or sorry, object explorer in UiPath itself.
yeah,
Okay. Now, if we can install UiPath in their machine, and if we can check if the object is available, and if we are able to select those selectors, so that's how we will do a feasibility check, right? So other than
yeah,
going directly into the tool, let's assume that customer is not ready to do that. Let's ask him what are the options that he can provide so that we can at least test the process before giving any option. So even before that,
okay,
there will also be some questions like this. See, normally if you want to take RPA, any process which doesn't require a human intervention is the easiest process if it is a desktop and web application automation.
yeah,
Okay, but if it is related to images, if it is related to captcha, or if there are more decisions to make, then the complexity of the process will be increased. You cannot say to a customer stating a reason that since I know that this cannot be automated, I will say you that this will not be automated. You need to give them proper reasons, proper explanation why this cannot be automated, and proper validation of proof stating that because of these reasons this is not automatable, but if you are going to exempt these particular states, then this can be automated. Or if you are going to streamline the process and come back to us stating that okay, these are the things that we need, and we are going to pick only out of 100 steps that are documented, we found that there are 10 steps that is completely repetitive and that can be implemented by the bot. Okay, so
okay,
I want only that thing to be implemented, then fine. So everyone should come into an agreement. It doesn't matter. See, normally a client is also a human. He's not a alien. There will be daily contacts like how we are meeting. I'm Pragati and others who are experienced. I understand that this is very vague for you, but others who don't know, they don't have the project experience, they need this explanation. Okay, thank you. So yes, we will have we will have stand-up calls. We will understand what are the client requirements. Everything should happen properly. Only then we will move into development phase. A client cannot say directly that okay, today I gave you this input, give me the output tomorrow. He will not say like that. That will not happen in actual scenarios. Okay, Karthik, to answer exactly to your question, like how can we do a feasibility check? Just say that what are the inputs that a client is providing? How are the inputs? Is the process automatable or not? And what are the inputs that we are providing? How many times are we repeating that in a process? And if there is a bot that's developed and it's going to run only for 5 minutes in a year, is it necessary to develop that bot? Why can't a human do it only for 5 minutes? He's not doing any repetitive work, right? That is the initial analysis that interviewer is expecting from you, not with respect to UiPath or not with respect to object of the browser, object of the element.
okay.
Okay, okay. So we have only last 5-10 minutes. So please go ahead and ask any questions. I would like to send you the PDD sample to everyone over email, as well as I will update that in the Teams. So please go ahead. Tomorrow we will do complete PDD discussion only. If any questions, please go ahead and ask. Okay, I have a question.
Vajra,
Yes, ma. Sorry, tell me.
so the number of inputs will be less in development phase, and during UAT, more number of data will be tested. So in that case, all kinds of scenarios will be covered, or we have to come back and create whenever we face new issues.
So whenever we face a new issue and if the bot is not able to get that, we will see in the exceptions. We will try to find in the logs why that particular element got failed. Okay, if there is a new business requirement stating that this input is not documented as per the process, this is a new process, then we will raise a change request. So a client will ask for a change request, and developer will implement the change request. With the existing code, we will add additional code to make sure if we have this type of data as well, this bot will run.
Okay.
Okay. So take back calculator example. I have coded it only for addition, but all of a sudden, customer wants to add subtraction as well. That's a change request, right? That's not the initial requirement, but the customer wants it now. So that's a change requirement. Again, the process need to be followed. We need to find if there are in see if customer wants to add some code or some logic, we cannot directly go ahead and say that okay, this is what by tomorrow I can give you the output. That's not what will happen. We will check whether the current system can be changed or current code can be changed, how much time will it take, and what is the time of testing does it take. We need to explain everything to customer, then we will start with the code. We'll not go ahead and directly make changes in the code. That will not happen. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just quickly show you. Okay, so these are my previous members and those are their salary expectations. So they have written tomorrow we'll have this exercise as well. So you need to be prepared, or just think after completion of this training, what is the salary expectation, or if you want to start your business by yourself, what is that something that you want, or how much are you going to earn. Have that monetary goal so that you will be focused. Okay, so let me quickly show you the process map. That's what I want to show you quickly. To be process, yes. Okay, see, this is a small process map that we did actually in text, but this can be done in flowchart. Okay, like start robot initialization, get one item, add 5 to the item, store it in the shared location. This is one simple process, but yes, we developed actually with this process in RE framework. That's what made the difference. So, how many of you have prepared your resumes right now for RPA? Rahul,
I have prepared, but yeah,
Pragati.
whatever I know, only those things I have put.
Pragati, I think you have, how many years of experience do you have?
15.
So how are you going to place yourself in RPA? You cannot go as a, of course you cannot go as a RPA developer. Then how are you trying to showcase yourself as?
Well, I think just as a more as a RPA BA and team lead, I would say,
Okay,
handling the project.
okay. So do you think that team lead or BA? Okay, team lead should definitely have a coding knowledge. Should BA have
Yeah.
coding knowledge or not?
To some extent, that what components we are going to define, not really coding, but at the same time they should be aware that what are the standards we are going to maintain and what are the expectations there.
Exactly, exactly, Pragati. But I think in this training you will also be doing a bit of coding, so please be prepared for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sure. So, yes. So I will also provide you 3 sample resumes in the Teams channel directly, because that's the place where we are going to collaborate. And if possible, how many of you have UiPath accounts, like Academy account or anything, single sign-on? Please raise the hand. Everyone should have it. If you don't have it, that's a really big mistake to do. So Pragati, you don't have,
No,
you
no,
have,
I have
you have it.
Academy UiPath. Yeah, I have,
Academy,
and even the orchestra, I have been using that. Yeah.
okay. And Akash, Sonam, Karthik,
Yeah, Vajrang, I have.
okay. So what I want you to do is, today you open UiPath forum, okay, and I will be available with ID at Vajrang B. So this is my ID. So if you have any queries or whatever the queries you have, please go ahead and see all the unread emails or unread items that you have. Post any message, or you can just tag me in any message that where you need an explanation for. For example, in this particular item or in this particular thing. Hello everyone, the BA UiPath course is downloadable templates, can be used daily working scenarios modified. Okay, this is not something that we can take it up as an example. Yeah, see here. How to use edit grid and data grid in forms. Okay, so if you want me to answer, just please go ahead and reply here and tag me. My ID is Vajrang. So Vajrang Bilakurti is my ID. So please go ahead and please check. Okay, just give that a note so that I will get the notification. I want each and every one of you to pick one item and tag me in that. Again, everyone in RPS space will definitely use it. UiPath will definitely use UiPath forum anytime. Okay, you cannot go without UiPath forum. So be flexible and make sure you know what are the things in UiPath forum and how things will be available in UiPath forum. Tomorrow we will discuss about UiPath forum as well, and moreover, my answer is already available here. But yes, can you do that as a task for me for today?
Sure, Vajran, will do. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead
Yes,
and
Vijay.
check with the forum. Pick up any question, just tag me up or ask your question directly. Even if I don't answer, let the members answer. Okay,
Sure. Yeah.
sure. Thank you so much. I'm stopping the recording right now. But the meeting, can you please guide side by side which are important topics covered from academy.uipad.com?